welcome you all in geological knowledge. So in the previous lecture or previous discussion we have discussed about some basic terminologies related to fault system, and in the continuation of that video today we will discuss some remaining basic terminologies which are very important to understand before we go into the depth of faulting system. Okay, so let's start our discussion. So before we start our discussion, just understand some basic terminologies related to fault. Okay, and this is very important to understand that what are the basic terminologies. So first of all, I would like to explain that this F1, this FF is the fault. We can call it a fault plane. FF is the fault plane. And if I talk this angle, okay, so this angle is known as dip angle. Okay, so the angle which is made from the horizontal, this HZ plane, HP is the horizontal plane. Okay, so this angle HA, this angle HAB is the dip of the fault. Okay, and whereas the vertical component, so vertical component, this means this H, this angle means the angle A, B and C. Okay, so this angle CAB is the head of the fault. Okay, and this vertical component of the displacement, so this displacement of the vertical component, that is known as throw. Okay, and the horizontal component, that is known as heave, H. Okay, so these are some basic terminologies which are very important to understand before we deal with the faulting terminologies. And two remaining things are also there, that is, this is the foot wall. Okay, this is the foot wall and this is the hanging wall. Okay, so the wall which is hanging in the fault zone or in the fault plane, that is known as hanging wall, and the other side is the foot wall. Okay, so let's start our today's discussion. So after knowing the basic terms, the first question is, a fault plane has how many walls? A fault has how many walls? So we all know that there are actually two walls. Okay, one is hanging wall and other is the foot wall. If the fault plane is not vertical, hanging wall and foot wall concept is valid only if the fault plane is not vertical. If fault plane is vertical, then it has neither hanging wall nor the foot wall. So if the fault plane is not vertical, in that case the block of rock lying above the fault plane is known as the hanging wall, and the block below the fault plane is known as the foot wall. Okay, so hanging wall and foot wall. A fault has two walls, hanging and foot wall. Next one is, it is easy to locate older and measure faults. There is a statement that whether it's easy to locate older and measure faults or not. So you have to pinpoint whether it's true or false. So basically it's false statement. It may be easy to locate fault plane or the fault surfaces in small scale and in rather recent faults, but in older and especially the major faults spreading over miles of area. However, extensive field work is included, including drilling and the subsurface investigation using geophysical methods may be required to determine the structures, these structures. Okay, so it's not easy to locate older and major faults. Okay, so option B, that is, it's wrong. What is the block which suffer displacement in the faulting called? Walls, parts, sections, or the blocks? So I have discussed initially before starting the discussion, that is, there are two walls, hanging wall and foot walls. Okay, so the blocks which suffer displacement and stand on either side of the fracture are called the walls. So generally there exist two types of walls, hanging as well as the foot wall. Fourth one is the block which lies on the under surface of fault plane or zone is called. The block which lies on the under surface of the fault plane or the fault zone, what is that plane called? Hanging wall, sub wall, foot wall, or the lower wall. So that is basically foot wall side. The term foot wall is used for that faulted block which lies on the under surface of the fault plane or the fault zone. So option C is correct. Who coined the terms hanging wall and the foot wall? Scientists, geologists, engineers, or the miners? So basically जो hanging wall and foot wall terms है, they were coined by the miners. Okay, have been coined by the miners while traversing along a track excavated in fault plane. The wall under their feet would be foot wall, whereas the other block would be the hanging above them, above their heads, so that will be called as hanging wall. Okay, so these terms hanging and foot wall were coined by the miners working in a mine area. Next is, what is the small region with definite thickness and distinct composition having numerous closely placed parallel fractures are called? Small regions with definite thickness and distinct composition having numerous closely placed parallel fractures are called shear zone, fault zone, fracture zone, or the slicken side. So they are basically the fault zone. So fault zone is a small region with definite thickness and distinct composition itself, along which there have been clear displacement. Okay, so that is known as fault zone. So option C, that is the fracture zone is okay. So the question was, what is the small region with definite thickness and distinct composition having numerous closely spaced parallel fractures known as fault zone? Okay. Seventh one is, what is the nature of displacement in shear zone? जो shear zone में nature है displacement का, which type of it is? Ductile nature, brittle nature, malleable nature, or the sonorous nature? So we all know that is the displacement in shear zone are generally ductile in nature. Okay, means they bend compared to the brittle fracture in simple faults or the fault zone. So if we talk about the in shear zone, that is the ductile type uh, structure or the ductile type nature, and if we talk about the fault zone or the faults, so there are the brittle fracturing. Okay, so let's understand some basic terminologies that are also very important. Okay, so fault plane and the shear plane or the shear zone. So fault plane is actually the fracture surface along which relative movement has taken place, that is known as the fault plane. Okay, so the word fault includes both the fault plane as well as the displacement that has occurred along it. And obviously a fault plane may be marked, curved, or in some cases undulating. So its outline can be curved as well as the undulating. Instead of clearly defining fault plane, there may be a number of parallel shear fractures along which the fault movement is described or the distributed. So such a fracture zone, that is known as a shear zone. Okay, so that is the basics of shear zone. Eighth one is identify the part labeled as A in the figure below. Shear zone, fracture zone, fault zone, or the A zone. So obviously we all know that that is the fault zone. We can observe numerous parallel placed fractured blocks in the shown region, and this is possible in a fault zone. Okay, so the picture depicts fault zone with distinct thickness and closely placed parallel fractures, as we can see in the diagram that there are FF, they are the fault plane, sorry, the fractures plane. Okay, so the figure which is given there, the labeled point A is known as the fault zone. Ninth one is slip is expressed in terms of millimeters, meters, kilometers, all the three. So basically slip can be in any dimension, millimeter, meter, or the kilometer. Okay, the slip is determined as a relative displacement of any points that were formally contiguous to each other as measured along the fault plane, and it can be expressed in millimeters, meters, or even kilometers depending on the fracturing or depending on the faulting, okay, or the slip. Next one is the type of slip not considered for study. Actually, there are 3-4 types of slips: strike slip, dip slip, oblique slip, but head slip is not considered when we study the faulting phenomena. So that is given here. The slip is further distinguished on the basis of the direction of displacement. Okay, so the basis of classification is the direction of displacement with respect to the fault dip, strike slip, or the oblique slip. So head slip is not one of those. Okay, so option C is the right answer. And the next one is, what is the vertical component of dip separation is called? We have discussed in the video about throw and the heave. So offset, throw, heave, or the strike. So we have discussed it. So option B, throw, is the vertical component of the dip separation measured in the direction perpendicular to the strike of the fault in a vertical plane. Okay, so two things are there. Throw is the vertical component of separation, and second one is it's measured in the direction perpendicular to the strike of the fault in a vertical plane. So these two things are very important to understand: throw and heave. Okay, so this was our discussion about some other basic terminologies like head, dip, strike, throw, or the fault plane or shear zone. Okay, so we will discuss some other related terminologies and some other factors in the faulting system. Okay, thank you.